Hello there, YouTube. I am Wheelchair21, and today, for our rolling review, we have the Ultra Hero / Ultra Monster X and Ultra Monster DX figures from the upcoming, or the currently released, Ultraman X movie. Now, the X movie is already out in theaters in Japan, however, it is not simulcasted on Crunchyroll. It might be in a future release when it probably hits home video, or maybe even sooner than that, just because, North American audiences probably want to see this freaking thing. I sure as hell do, seeing the fact that, as you can see, Xcx uses this thing called the Beta Spark armor. Combining the Beta Capsule and the Tiga Spark together become a bitchin' armor. Now, people are wondering, what's the Beta Capsule and the Tiga Spark? Well, for you guys who just got into Ultraman, they are the henshin devices, or the transformation devices, for the original Ultraman and Tiga. And now there's probably somebody that's going to comment and say, well, I already knew what those were. Well, I'm just saying that for the people who still aren't in the Ultra fandom yet. So, let's look at the actual Beta Spark Xcx figure. Now, comparing it to the original Xcx, it is missing some features. First off, the purple accents in the suit, down on the hips and crotch and groin area. The actual black and red tint in his abdomen region, as well as some other purple spots on his arms, as well as the black areas on his knees, or I should say the dark gray. However, they do try to feature the accented areas that feature parts from the original Ultraman, as well as from Tiga, as you can see on both shoulders. He gets new leg guards, forearm guards, and an entire chest piece and shoulder piece. And it does try to say significantly to match the theme of the cyber armors, as you can see with the nice gold X and X with the blue insignia for kind of his timer. And I honestly enjoy it. The only con I say that this figure has is that since it's mostly kept to keep his basic silver, parts kind of just blend in and melt in with the rest of the suit, so you kind of don't know where the arm guards stop and where the arm guards continue or form, and it's kind of a mess. So I hope one day we get an actual articulated action figure of this, or some kind of collectible figure, say like a Figuart, since the Ultra Act line has been cancelled and reintegrated into the basic Figuarts line. Zaigorg resurrects or takes over Antlar and Golza, who are previously seen kaiju in the franchise. Antlar is from the original Ultraman series, and Golza is from Tiga. The new Antlar has this wonderful, I would say, orangey or brownish-like metallic paint throughout the entire Spark doll. And it looks beautiful, as well as some gold on the entire body and back. Nice, I like it, and its points of articulation are as followed. The waist, which is slightly hindered, I believe what you call a thorax. I don't really remember my terminology when it comes to insects, but it's hindered a bit, so you can't really get it to swivel all the way about. His arms, which can't really go all the way around, but do have a 360 motion swivel. And his head, which has a 360 motion swivel. As well as a cyber card, which I forgot to mention the Xcx Beta Spark armor doesn't have, which it, I believe, comes with either if you see the movie, its eventual home video release, or is with the actual weapon / roleplay toy. And there's probably a few others that you can get probably from vending machines and gashapon machines in Japan. However, this Cyber Antler card looks amazing, looks beautiful, and kind of reminds me of like if King Joe fused with probably a Kabuto Beetle, because that remind me of King Joe for some reason. And on the back it shows 40 meters as his height, 20,000 tons as his weight, and a screen cap from his debut. Golza, Golza, I should say, has a beautiful charcoal gray, silver and blue design. Metallic blue and silver is just thrown all about his body, from the tail to his head to his actual breast and back plate. It's honestly one of the most marvelous pieces about him. And it just stands out. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but I find this to be amazing, and I feel like he's going to be shooting blue flames, just because the original Golza had bluish and turquoisey green areas all over his body, as well as red veins for where he stored a lot of magma and heat into his system. as well as he is 62 meters tall and 70,000 tons. He's actually one of the heavier kaiju that are, kind of the basic troped kaiju in the series. His articulation is as followed in the legs, tail, and arms, which is a lot better than your basic Spark doll, as I compare him next to regular Golza in the original Spark doll line. And if one was to compare this one to that one, to your Spark doll of an Ultraman, this Golza right here, Gorg Fire Golza, is more accurately scaled to an Ultra than a basic Spark doll. So, I would insist that if there's a kaiju you like, and it's getting an Ultra DX vinyl, buy the Ultra DX vinyl if you want to try to stay in scale. Let's move on to the head honcho, Zaigorg, who makes these Gorg clones, or these Gorg manifested beings for these previous kaiju. Zaigorg, as you can see, has a weird clubbed hand, which I don't know why he has it, or what it can do, since I don't want to really spoil myself on what this creature is, or what it does. So if you want to know, check out the Wikia. His overall body and design features, well, I would say a similar design to Red King. Honestly, I just see Red King throughout the entire course of his back, his spine, his tail, arm, and leg. I feel like that's what they probably were kind of going for with this, is just to remodify and reuse some kind of Red King design. Now, its tail has like this weird jagged blade, which I feel like he's going to use to pierce somebody in the film. As well as, nice job, domino effect, knock over everyone, why don't you? As well as, he has these weird like quills on his back, which kind of reminds me of Kristalik from the Godzilla Unleashed game, as well as has these spines, similar to, I would say, Zilla, but in the reverse direction. He also has these interesting horns, which seem to have a lot of swivels and swerves in them, which I don't know if that's where like it's gonna show him releasing energy or storing energy, but I feel like that this detail in his horns has something to do with maybe power that he has, or any type of beam blasts that he may fire, whether it be just from his fist or mouth or horns. And he has also these weird rows of eyes going from the back of his neck all the way up to his face. And an interesting kind of like jewel encrusted into his chest and breastplate. Honestly, it's something to just wonder and fathom what he can actually be, what he can actually do, and how possibly he communicates with the kaiju in controlling them. His Spark doll, or I should say his cyber card for the Spark doll, is really interesting, and it kind of reminds me of something you would see possibly in a comic, or some kind of American cartoon trying to feature kaiju. Kind of looks like if a Powerpuff Girl kaiju was on crack, or if, honestly, they were trying to recapture something from Gridman, because, honestly, just looking at this art, I honestly see Gridman written all over it for some reason. I just don't know why. And since it's similar to Griza, being that this is his debut, he has no featured art on the back, except giving us the basic stats of 66 meters tall, and he is 70,000 tons, which, if I recall correctly, Golza is, yes, 70,000 tons, and he's just 4 meters taller. However, this figure is probably about a half an inch. I guess that's the best way to scale it right now. But we're going to next go into our demonstrations of the lights and sounds with the Spark dolls and cards on your X-Devizer.
Ultraman 解析中。ウルトラマン X パワーアップ解析完了しました。ウルトラマン X パワーアップは味方ですか？ガオディクションを起動します。ニューモンスター解析中。ニューモンスター解析完了しました。エネルギーチャージモードへ移行します。ニューモンスターチャージ完了。サイバーモンスターロードします。よし、行くぞ。サイバーモンスターアーマーアクティブ。ガオディクションを起動します。アントラー解析中。 チャージモードへ移行します。ファイヤーゴルザチャージ完了。サイバーファイヤーゴルザロードします。
よし、行くぞ。
サイバーファイヤーゴルザアーマーアクティブ。
It's evaluation time, and for my final evaluation, I gotta say that these Spark dolls are worth getting, well, only due to the fact that they are movie vinyls, and movie vinyls tend to get rarer over time, unless they're either remade for future and different vinyl series, which I do believe the Spark doll line isn't going away anytime soon. Now, there are some flaws, mostly with Zaigorg. First off being, his left foot, the way the chip is embedded into it, it may not scan. Also, because of how big his foot is, it may also screw up how you scan. And mine tends to be one of the few that has that QC error, compared to the few that I've seen already on YouTube, other than myself. Also, the sounds for the card only say New Monster, which is kind of a trolling thing that Tsuburaya and Bandai could have done, seeing that this is its debut. Now, for Antlar and Golza, I'm actually surprised their roars are in the Henshin device, which makes me kind of think that they were originally intended to be in the series like other kaiju seen in the opening credits, but just couldn't be in there due to the fact they were either hoping to get maybe a second season or to expand their episode count for X overall. Now, I do recommend still, though, even with some of their flaws and some of their differences, they're worth getting, especially due to the fact they're, well, actually more in scale with the Ultra Spark dolls than they were when they were in basic, regular Spark doll lines, aside from Zaigorg. So, if you like scaling, get them. And I think you should also get the Beta Spark Armor just due to the fact it's a bitchin' upgrade, using two of my favorite Ultramen, nonetheless. So, you can get these on most online retailers and some hobby shops, most likely. And if you enjoyed this video, I suggest you, well, like it, share it, favorite, as well as tell me what you thought in the comments below. You can also subscribe to my channel so you can see other reviews like this, or card game shenanigans, Doyle's DVDs, vlogs/unboxings, Let's Build, and other types of videos to come. So, this has been Wheelchair21, and I'll see you next time with most likely the Mini-Plod Juoja review.